Okay, so you've ordered a custom crown from me, but I need to know the measurements of your head. Now, it depends on where you're going to wear the crown, where you're going to measure. So, first of all, if you don't have a lot of hair to attach the crown to, I recommend that you wear it further down on your head so that your head can keep it on a little bit more like this. Whereas if you're going to wear it, like, for example, the coronation crown of Queen Elizabeth, she wears it on top of her hair, but it will be pinned into the hair, and I will place combs in it as well. So it depends on where you're going to wear it. That matters a lot. Now, if you're going to be wearing it down around your head so that it stays on, you're going to want to keep in mind where you want it to be coming down. Do you want it sitting straight all the way around, or do you want it angled back a little bit? Most of them should be up like this, but it's totally up to you. Do what you want to do. So when you've decided where you're going to wear it, you're going to need to get yourself either a string, and if you don't have a measuring tape, and you can take the string and put it around your head and measure it, or and then measure it on a ruler, or you can use an actual measuring tape. So what you're going to do is, and I have a ponytail in the way, so you're going to take this and bring it around to see where exactly. So if I want my crown to sit right here, wherever I place this is where I'm going to place my crown. Okay? And then I'm going to figure out what that measurement is right there. So mine's 22 inches. All right. So that's the first thing I need to know. Second thing that I would recommend you do is everybody's head is shaped differently. So if I make this a perfect circle, it's not going to work. So I'm going to show you what you can do to make sure that I get the right head shape as well. All right. Head shape. Head shape is important. So obviously the shape of your head is not a perfect circle. It's a little bit more of an oval. So what I would recommend you do is after you have taken the measurement of your head, I would go ahead and take that measurement or that string and take it and lay it out on a piece of paper. You may have to do this a couple times until you get the head shape that you want and until it feels comfortable. But what I would do is I would lay out your measurement and do it in a little bit of an oval, trace it, and then try cutting it out and seeing how that fits. Now, obviously, this is just kind of a rough guess for me because this is my first one. And you'll need a few pieces of paper because you can try this a couple different times. So once you've got that, you're going to cut that out and then we're going to try it on. Now your head is symmetrical usually, most of the time. So if you want to take this and overlap it and cut the oval out so that it's pretty much the same on both sides, you can. I'm going to cut mine just a little bit smaller so that I can figure out where there's gaps before I get it all the way to the size of my head. Now I'm not entirely sure. That's why this is a rough draft. Now I'm doing this with a ponytail, but if I was going to be wearing a wig, I would not have my hair in a ponytail. So I want you to keep in mind what your hair is going to be like. Are you going to be wearing a wig? If you are, put the wig on when you're doing this because that is going to make a difference. Are you going to be putting a cushion underneath, which is definitely something like a cap? That is something else that you can do. If that's something that I'm doing for you, then I will take that into consideration. But if it's something that you're going to be adding later, keep that in mind as you're doing this. Now I've got my circle, so now I'm going to put it on my head. Okay, so that feels a little tight, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out just a little bit more because it feels a little tight all the way around. As you noticed, I ripped mine when I was trying to pull it over my flat head, so, but that's fine. It's not a problem. I'm just going to tape it back together and continue. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of distance. Since I'm going to be cutting it out on both sides, remember that just do a little bit at a time. So I know I look absolutely gorgeous with my paper crown. It's still a little tight, so I'm going to try again. All right. Now that fits like snugly right where I want my crown to fit. Okay. However, I feel like there's just a little bit of space on the sides that I got a little bit extra. So I could go ahead and retrace that and take that in and get one that's officially my final one that is the right shape. Now, once you have this, I'm actually going to have you mail me this. So you can go ahead and fold that sucker up into small little pieces, stick that in an envelope, and mail that to me. It is better if it's on something like cardstock. Cardboard would work, but cardboard also would be more expensive to ship. Paper is a little flimsy for really testing out the shape of it. So if you can get yourself some cardstock, that is the best option. So that is how I recommend that you measure your head for me to make sure that we have a good fit for your crown. And again, remember, if you're going to be wearing it with a wig, try it on with the wig, try this on with the wig, and make sure it's going to fit. If you have lots of hair and you need loops and combs for us to stick it into your hair, that's how I usually keep a lot of my crowns in. But if you just need it to sit on your head because you don't have a lot of hair, well, then we just got to make sure it fits your head right. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you have any questions, be sure to message me. Thanks for buying from me.